mother and her family immigrated from the Netherlands to Argentina after World War II. These are excerpts from letters my mother wrote in Dutch to her twin sister as she and some family members made their way from Buenos Aires to Misiones in a Ford 1910 plus a trailer. November 7th, 1954, San Antonio de Areco. Dear Annika, we haven't reached El Dorado yet. We discovered all kinds of defects on the Moby, so we had to go by the mechanic where they inspected Moby's belly under the watchful eye of the crowds. We were on the San Martin Highway on our way to La Eternidad when we had our first near accident. Jos couldn't exactly figure out all of Moby's antics, like for example that the brakes were a teeny bit weird. And so at an intersection we almost rammed a colectivo. Also, at the most inconvenient times, the engine refuses to turn over. We drove until about 9 o'clock at about 40 kilometers an hour, and then we got the citation. Apparently, we had on too bright of a light. A 30 peso fine. Jos was so mad he didn't want to continue, and then with an angry turn of the crank, because the engine had given up again, he turned Moby, on the shoulder, off the shoulder, with some speed against a huge gasoline truck. Peligro, inflamable. The truck didn't even say anything, but our car seemed perplexed and stopped and kept quiet. The policeman came running after us, maybe to give us another fine, or who knows, maybe even to take Moby away from us. No, to tell Jos that maybe it would be better if he used his brights. He even helped us turn the crank, but he didn't give us back our 30 pesos. November 11th. Oh my gosh, you won't believe what happened now. It's almost indescribable. In Areco, we found someone with a car who was willing to tow the Ford T for a little way. And when the engine finally started, we went on our way. We were all pretty upbeat and were going at a pretty good rate of speed. Every now and again, we would look back at the acoplado, but everything was going swimmingly well until lots of noise, we looked back and ciao, acoplado. In the distance, it was going by its lonesome, sweeping across the road, onto the shoulder, rolled over into the ditch, and broke into 2 pieces. Imagine how frightening that was. And oh wonder, none of our stuff was broken, even the porcelain dishes. Lots of people gathered round to help us. A camion on its way to BA has taken the stuff back to Capitan Sarmiento. Very sweet of him to go such a distance for us. There they repaired the acoplado as much as they could. So we were able to stop a camion that would take the acoplado to Rosario, where the entire thing could be loaded on a boat, and we could go on with a Ford T. I rode in the camion until Rosario. In the meantime, they had gotten lost several times and received another fine, this time because we don't have any bumpers. In the meantime, they've taken the car to a Ford specialist who will repair the starter. Throughout all these troubles, we're in pretty good humor. But they are saying that if they'd known this before we left, we wouldn't have done it this way. I'm having a pretty good time. I'm best friends with all kinds of mecanicos and truck drivers. This story is really good enough to write a book about it. In any case, it's a great adventure. November 12th, Rosario. We're still here. Hopefully we can leave tomorrow morning. The Model T Ford has been completely checked. We haven't taken any pictures yet, although there's been plenty of reasons to. When the acoplado turned over, or when I sat in the huge camion, or of the fantastic convoy we formed made up of the auxilio car in front with a mecanico and me, after that the Ford T with Jos straight-backed and with a very serious face, and all by its little lonesome, the acoplado behind it. That sad bunch in procession tempo through the city. We were quite a sight to see. The mecanico was a nice guy. We had lots of laughs with him. Everyone was so helpful and nice to us, and nobody wanted any money for their help. November 14th, San Justo, Santa Fe. Still en route, still having adventures. Where we are now is truly ideal. It's a Shell servicio. It seems sort of Dutch. Everything is so clean. We have to wait here for a while because the dynamo just broke. Yesterday afternoon, we left Rosario after some delays, a flat tire. We arrived in Santa Fe and we started driving again until about 30 kilometers before San Justo the car broke down again because of the generator. We kept on driving on the battery until we got to this Shell station. This is Calchaquí. Truly this part of things was a total death trip. 60 kilometers after San Justo is where the dirt road began. The road was one big mud pit. We saw only 3 other cars on the road, and we were really anxious about road conditions. We drove the entire trip in first gear. We should have made it to Resistencia today, but if we make it to Reconquista by tomorrow, we should consider ourselves lucky. Resistencia, November 20th. Here I am, bored to tears, in the heat, by myself. Thank goodness I have some water with lemon. A farmer who came by took pity on me and gave me some oranges. Next to me there's a little stream where some boys have been swimming all afternoon. I hope Jos will be back before dark, because I'm afraid by myself. Actually, I'm having a pretty good time. I'll be glad when we arrive in El Dorado. It's starting to look a lot like From Here to Eternity. We're stuck here with a broken front wheel. We're about 140 kilometers from El Dorado. I really hope the car doesn't break down anymore, although I already know there's a hole in the water reservoir. I could write you a long letter about all the car trouble we've had between the last letter and this one. We've really feared for our lives on several occasions. November 22nd, El Dorado. This will probably be the last letter. First of all, I would like to inform you that we have finally arrived safely. When you get this letter, I'll probably already be on my way back to BA. I arrive on the 30th by waterplane in the new harbor at about 4 p.m. Posadas. Dear Annika, your sister is waiting nervously in her hotel room to see if it's time to go to the airport. And so she's been sitting here ready and waiting next to her little suitcase. The bill's been paid, the white gloves are sitting on her purse. I guess I'll get going. I'll take the air sickness pill to be sure. See you in a bit, sweetie. Mariam.